everyone, I'm Tabitha, and today we're wrapping up September. September marked a big change around here in that my kids went back to in-person learning for the first time in like 6 months. That also meant that it was the first time that I was working part-time at the bookstore and handling drop-off and pick-up at school and making sure that I was doing my writing. So things got a little crazy. So let's see if I managed to meet any of my goals or make any progress, even with all that going on in September. So you might remember that in 2020, I've been working towards year-long goals that look like this. At the end of August, the progress looks more like this. I think I'm impressed with how much the progress was at the end of August, but it also kind of makes me realize how close we're getting to the end of 2020, right? Because so many of these are already checked off. And naturally, my brain has started to move towards thinking about 2021 and how I may want to do things a little differently in 2021. Don't worry, it's still going to be writing and reading books and doing reviews. I'm trying to think of fresh new ways to keep things interesting. And I do plan on still keeping my 2021 goals all on one page because I loved the way this worked. I loved the way it kept me focused and let me feel accomplished even in months where I know I didn't get a lot done. So for now, I'm going to start at the top of this document, work my way down, and see what else we can check off for September. First, the goal at the top of the page was to publish Training Tutor. And of course, you already know this is your monthly reminder to go get that book because it's available. I had a secret goal that I never told anybody. Really, I should stop doing secret goals. Like, these are my goals. But I had this like secret goal in the back of my head that maybe I'd publish something else in 2020. And it's not going to happen. It's September. It's not going to happen. But I think I have quite a few more in the editing process, which means it's not unreasonable to think I might see 2 come out in 2021. So I'm kind of excited about that. But that's not my point. I'm getting ahead of myself again. The point is, Training Tutor is available and you should go get it. Next up, the edits and rewrites box. That box was completely finished back in, I want to say July, maybe. But the point is, coming into September, it was already done, which is great. It's kind of funny, thinking back to January of 2020, where I had, just finished Fron 4, and the Magical YA was 0 draft done. And I think I knew it needed a big rewrite, but it felt too big. It felt like I was never going to get it done. And now in September, I feel like they've both been done forever. So it's strange to think of those. Both of those, as I mentioned, the Fron 4 and the Magical YA are both with betas. The process of beta reading can be really long, especially for these 2 books, because these 2 books are heavy and they have a lot to them. There's a lot of arcs, a lot of storylines, a lot of stuff going on. So it's complicated. I'm not rushing anyone. Those are the 2 I would love to see published in 2021. So I'm getting ahead of myself again. The point is, in September, I didn't focus on editing. I did manage to edit 12 chapters of some little projects and little things, which is good, but it wasn't my focus in September, and it won't even show up on that box because that box was already done. So there you go. Next up, the 0 draft box. I added another 10,000 words to the Ghostly YA this month, which puts the Ghostly YA at like 33,000 words or something crazy like that. Then I noticed how little I've already written on this draft and how little is left of the outline, which means I underwrote this story again. I had the same problem in Fron 4 and the Magical YA. I'm underwriting them. It's almost like I'm so focused on getting that main storyline done with my outline that I'm leaving out stuff that's needed to bulk up the story and make it long enough, I think. I started realizing as I was thinking about it that there's stuff that needs to go into the story having to do with my antagonist that's not currently in there. So I'm struggling right now trying to decide, should I power through and finish the outline as written and then go back and add the antagonist storylines, or should I add the antagonist storylines before I finish up the outline as written? So I kind of stalled myself out. You'll see if you follow me on Instagram when I post my end of the month wrap up. I wrote a lot in my idea journal. A lot of that was trying to wrap my head around what this antagonist stuff is going to look like and where it's going to fit. So I can't count it for the project yet because I'm not sure if I'm going to use it, but I've been playing around in the idea journal trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this antag. I think he's going to have to be stepped up. Anyway, so I added 10,000 words to the Ghostly YA, and when you see those final numbers on Instagram, I've been writing a lot. It's just in other Instagram projects and stuff like that. So I haven't fully decided yet what I'm doing with the Ghostly YA, but I am still working on it, and, ugh, right? Now let's move on to those goals at the bottom of the page. The first one is to post 24 short stories, scenes, or poems to the blog. That was supposed to be 2 posts per month, obviously, and it was supposed to keep me always working on stuff that was fresh or new. You already know I love my idea journal. I love taking breaks from my major works in progress. This month, I posted to the blog 8 times, including the companion post that will go up for this video you're watching right now. Only one of those 8 posts was a short story, scene, or poem. That one was called Connecting to Character, and I'll make sure I drop a link in the description because I think that was probably my favorite for the month. I did post twice this month about National Novel Writing Month because I'm planning to blog my way through National Novel Writing Month, November, in 2020 this year with my project. So right now in September, I already start planning what possible ideas I could have for my work in progress leading up to picking one in October and actually outlining it in October so that I can draft in November. So I started posting to the blog and I did that twice. So you do want to make sure maybe you check those out. I'll make sure I link them in the description. If you're doing Nano, I definitely think we should connect on Nano this year because I think it's important to have buddies and have people who can hold you accountable. So if you're logging into the Nano site, find me. My username I think is capital T Ships. So find me over there on Nano. Let's be buddies. Basically, though, when it comes to this goal, posting only 1 short story this month means that for the first time in 2020, I fell behind on this goal. I hadn't given myself any wiggle room. I was perfectly dead on, having posted an average of 2 a month up until September. And in September, I only posted 1. So that meant I fell behind on a goal for the first time. It's only 1 post behind. I'm not super worried. I can hopefully make it up just by picking up that 1 post somewhere else. But I hate being behind. So already this is like in the back of my head bothering me a little. So we'll see if I can fix that. I was going to say, oh, hey, I'll post all my poems from September and then I'll be on track. Yeah, I wrote 0 of those. So, yeah. Anyway, I will try to make this one up, but for now, I'm officially behind on the short story blog goal. Next up was the goal to bring you 52 videos right here to this YouTube channel. That, of course, is 1 video per week, which was always my goal. But you know that sometimes we've posted more than 1, which allowed me to kind of have some wiggle room that looks like I'll finish this goal early. Including this one you're watching right now, I posted 5 videos in September, even though for the first time all year, I missed a Tuesday video. I shouldn't say missed. That was kind of an on-purpose decision. That Tuesday was the first day that I was supposed to be at the bookstore and drop off kids and pick up kids. So that was going to be a crazy busy day. And we already knew that we were far ahead in posting videos. So that was a conscious choice to kind of skip that Tuesday, reshare one of my favorite videos instead, and come back to it. So I actually of course I did have a little guilt because like I just mentioned, I hate missing goals. And even though I wasn't missing a goal, it almost kind of felt like it. So I took some time that day to sit down when I had a chance and make sure that the schedule is planned out so I know you're getting videos for the rest of the year and I know for the most part when they're coming. We're not in danger of missing this goal at all. I think I counted many times and I think we're at 51 videos for 2020. I don't know. I don't know anymore. That could be wrong, but I think that's what we're at, which means we're 1 video away from making this goal. So that's pretty awesome. And that does include this video, I think. I don't know. Whatever. So I am going to make this goal in 2020, and thank you for forgiving me for missing a video on a Tuesday. And you guys were like, it's not a big deal, but it felt like it to me, but thanks for making it not one. Well, we are going to meet this goal. We're on track. Last but certainly not least was my goal to read and review 104 books before the end of 2020. That's a pretty large goal, and it always seemed overwhelming, but if you watch this channel, you know I met it in August, so all the rest of this was bonus, I guess. So for my official TBR for September looked like this. This TBR included 2 arcs, Bellevue and The Lost Signal, a review request, Tales of Sorcery and Silicone, and it also, of course, included the 4 Shield challenges. Let's break down the Shield challenges and see what's earning the Shields in October. First up is the Shield for the book that's been on my TBR the longest. In September, this Shield went to The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I gave this one 4 stars on the first September review video because it was good, despite the nagging feeling that I'd heard the story before. I still cannot remember the other stories that I have read that sounded like this, which means I cannot check to see whether this came first or the other ones came first, so I couldn't hold it against that book. It was a good book. It was. Let's see what gets the Shield for October for oldest book on my TBR. All right, let's see. I'm going to head over to my trusty Goodreads app here. I'm going to go to my want to reads. And then I'm going to make sure I'm sorting, I already am, by date added and the oldest book on there. And that would be An Abundance of Catherines, also by John Green. See, this is the problem, and I knew it was going to come up, and I'm surprised it took till September. I often do this. I hear about an author that people are like, oh, they're great, you should try them. Or I read something by an author, and then I add like a ton of their books to my TBR at the same time. So I'm surprised it took till September for it to be 2 by the same author back to back. But this is the oldest book on my TBR. I was on a John Green kick, I guess. I added this one to my TBR in January of 2018. Same as the other John Green book. It makes sense. I'm pretty sure I can get this from my library because it's traditionally published. So that's awesome. So that means I'm officially adding An Abundance of Catherines by John Green as the oldest book on my TBR to my October TBR. Yeah, that's happening. Next up, the Shield for the book on my TBR with the lowest average reader rating. For September, this one was The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. This one will be on review video number 2 when that goes up. Let's just say, as with all the others that have earned the Shield in 2020, I can see why this got low ratings, but I also think there are people who will love this book. So I don't know, that might give you an idea of where it will be rated. Let's see what earns the Shield for October. Back to my trusty Goodreads, going back, and let's sort by average rating instead of date added. Make sure that we're going low to high. And it looks like this one will be A House at the Bottom of a Lake by Josh Malerman. Okay. Let's see. The reviews, what's the average here? 3.29. So this, I don't know, this might be like a niche audience maybe. I don't know. Obviously, I haven't read it. I do not remember adding this book. I kind of think it was from somebody telling me that it was really good, so maybe that'll be awesome, but I don't remember much about it, so I'm kind of going into this one blind, and I have no idea if my library has it, so I guess we'll find out together. But I'm going to add A House at the Bottom of the Lake by Josh Malerman to my official October TBR. All right, next up is the Shield. That's the opposite side of that for the highest average reader rating on my current TBR. For September, this was The Dark Restarter by Sean McMahon. Full disclosure, I am not completely done with this one yet, but you'll see it marked on my already read because I will finish it. I started it a week before filming this video, actually, but it's not done yet because this book is over 800 pages long. Even when you read as fast as me, 800 pages takes some time. I will have it done for the end of the month. It will be the 5th and final book to go on review slot number 2, but I can't give you any hints about what it's going to score because I'm not done yet. So there's that. Let's see what earns the Shield for October. Back to my TBR here. We're going to go back, I meant to Goodreads. Go back and flip that so it's sorted by highest rating, and it looks like this one will be, Patchwork by Desiree Byers. Patchwork. I want to say this is an indie book, which is awesome. It has an average rating of 4.8 stars. That's amazing. So this should be a great book. That's what I'm hoping for. I think I have this one as an ebook, I think, or maybe a physical book. The point is, I think the author sent me this book in anticipation of a review that was supposed to come later. That's the best part about the Shield Challenge, I think, is it lets me scoot some of these promised reviews up. That's awesome. So this one will come out ahead. And if I'm not mistaken, Patchwork is horror short stories, which that's just perfect for October, right? That's like perfect for that October vibe. Maybe it'll really get me into like the fall creepy vibe. I don't know, whatever. That's awesome. So I'm adding Patchwork by Desiree Byers to my October TBR. Last but never least is the Shield for recommended based on a recent 5-star read. For September, that book was The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Torton. This one will be up on that second review group in the end of September. And let's just say, despite other reviewers reading it at the same time as me and pointing out massive problems with it, I absolutely loved this book. I loved it. This book, that recommendation came from, I work part-time in a bookstore, and I was at the bookstore and I was raving about A Soul the Crow by Jessica Willis and telling a book reader why she should read this one and what I loved about it. And she said I should read The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. It sounded like it had some similar deep thoughts to it. I'm not explaining this well, but whatever. Anyway, she bought that. I bought the one 7.5 Deaths. You know, we both read them. I assume I haven't seen her since, but I loved her recommendation. That was great. So because of that, I went back to the bookstore to get another recommendation. So I was raving about 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, and somebody said that I should read Middle Game by Sean Maguire. Now, it was a different customer, but, you know, same idea. So I'm going with it. I'm going to go with Middle Game by Sean Maguire as the next recommended book I'm going to read for October based on what I liked about the Evelyn Hardcastle book. I mean, really, I'm just hoping that this one is another one that knocks it out of the park, because that would be epic. So, Middle Game, Sean Maguire, that's the October Shield one. With the 4 Shield challenges actually completed, or me promising that it will be completed before the final day of September, my September actually read progress looked like this. Not my best month in terms of books. I read exactly 9. But I have a feeling when I count up these pages, it's going to be really impressive because, like I said, Dark Reserver is over 800 pages. So that's going to be pretty insane. I did have a moment prepping this video where I was completely disgusted with myself for that 9 books thing. Then I realized 9 books is a lot by most people's standards. And so, you know, I'm going to forgive myself for that. I enjoyed some of these. I got wrapped up in reading them. And you know what? At the end of the day, that's more important than how many you read, I think. Plus, remember, I met my 104 goal in August. So this was all just fun. That's what I'm going with. With the 4 Shield challenges added to my October TBR, my October TBR looks like this. 2 review requests, so that's The Massacre at Yellow Hill and Red Winter in the West, round out this nice, cozy, small TBR. I'm hoping that keeping this small will allow me some time for some bonus books, because I have some that are on hold or are here from my library that I would like to get to before I have to return them. You know, that would be nice. I do want to mention really quick that I don't normally do this, but these 2 review requests are the same author. I don't normally do that. I'll normally do one by an author. You know, it's for their safety as well as mine. Like, what if I hate it? They don't want me to review all of them if I hate it. I'm taking a risk on this author. We're going to read both of his books in the same month. I think I did that because he told me they were going to be good for the season for October. So I don't know. We're going to see how that goes. So these are both by C.S. Humble, and I have high hopes. That's what I'm hoping for. So nice, small, cozy TBR in October. Keep it simple and hope that I can enjoy these books. All right, it's that time in the wrap-up video where we do a fast run-through of how my goals look at the end of September. Are you ready? Training Tutor is published and you should go get it. Both major editing projects for 2020 are completely finished and making me look good for 2021. I added another 10,000 words to the final project I need to make that zero draft box totally done. I fell behind on my blog goal for the first time, meaning I'm going to have to make up 1 blog post sometime before 2020 is over. I am 1 single video away from my YouTube goal for the year, and I've already read 116 books for 2020. Boom. Okay, my friends, that is it for me and my September progress. It honestly feels so productive to start having all those year-long goals just checked off on a year-long sheet and being able to see that progress. I am fully in favor of using 1 single sheet for year-long goals in the future. I will be doing it, and I will be telling everybody who asks me that they should do it too, because it's amazing. Back in January, I didn't think these goals were possible. I thought they were too big, and I was a lunatic. And now I'm going to finish these and have months left. So it's amazing. It's just amazing. That's my suggestion. Anyway, drop a comment to let me know you're still here. Hit subscribe and tap that little bell so you know when I'm back. Keep plotting the path to your own dreams. Friend me on Nano, and I'll see you next time. Bye!